What's up, YouTube? Shane here. I am about to run the Iceworm Cave. I'm on a unofficial server. Been here for about 2 weeks, and we were here on the wipe cycle before this actually as well. It's a pretty fun server, 50x, so things are really fast here and really high loot in the drops. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is some PvP tips. I've seen some videos on these, and there's definitely some good ones out there. I feel like I have a few tips and tricks that I feel like I haven't seen in some videos. So stay tuned, and maybe you'll be a little bit less of a scrub. I'm not saying that I know it all and that I'm the best PvPer ever, but I got some options for you if you get in some sticky places. So stick around. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I can't stop. So one of the first tips I'd say is always be prepared for a fight. If you're on a PvP server and you're out and about and you have anything on you that you care about, whether it be gear, armor, whatever, weapons, if you're on a dino that you care about, you need to be ready to fight for it, because if someone comes up to you and picks you, you don't have parachutes, you're dead. They pick you, you don't have grapples or a bola or a strong enough weapon to make them want to put you down, they're probably going to take you wherever they want. Most likely just drop you in turrets. And there goes your gear, they're going to kill your dino, whatever. So, in saying all this, hanging out here at a base we raided this season, and wanted to show you what I have in my inventory here. This here is my normal gear. I have 3 sets of backup armor, all with decent durability, around 1,000 or higher. My pants are pretty good. It's got 1,500 durability there. And the reason I'm talking about durability is because that's what's important when you're in a fight. Armor is good. It helps you take less damage per hit, but your durability is what's really going to save your life. If you're taking a lot of shots, your durability, once that runs out and you don't have armor on anymore, that's what's going to really screw you up. So, say my feet break. And I don't think people are shooting at my feet much, but I should still get into cover, assess what's broken and what needs repair, and get new shoes on. And then I can get right back out in the fight. You can see I've done some customizing my crosshair here, but yeah, this is seems like a simple point to make, but it's something I try to really push on my tribe mates. If they're leaving the base, they need to have a full kit. You can see here from my full kit, I have a sword. Down on my hotbar I have a sword, flamethrower, parachutes, always need to have those ready, bolas. I like the spyglass to understand whose base I'm around. Got a decent fab snipey with 693 damage, you know how we do. Shotgun, 562 damage. Yeah, and a decent whip, and I got health brews. So this is definitely a PvP loadout. That's what we're here to talk about. I have extra whips in my inventory in case my primary whip gets whipped out of my hands. I have extra bolas if I'm trying to bola people and they whip my bolas out of my hands. I got extra ones. Looks like one of my teammates just got on. And also grapples. If I have to get away in a tight situation and someone whips my grapple hook out of my hand, I can go into my inventory and I still have another crossbow with extra grapple hooks. Other stuff in here is just in case you need it. Narc grenade, explosives to blow things up, you know, basic stuff. Shadow sticks if you really need to hone in that sniper shot. I would definitely suggest being organized inside your inventory. Always have the same kind of stuff on your hotbar so you have consistency there. You know which button to press and you know what you're going to get. If you continuously change that up, you're going to have to pay attention to what buttons you're pressing. You're going to have to really take time, and to win in a PvP battle, it's all about efficiency, being quick with your action, quick with your decision making, and if you're organized, that really helps. Alright guys, so another tip I have is in-game settings. I'm here joined with Ganymede, one of my long-time unofficial tribe mates. There's certain settings in this game, if you change them, it actually helps a lot in PvP. So let's take a look at those now. If you notice, I'm going to jump, access my inventory, and almost be out of it before I land. Ready? In, out, land. In, out, land. And that seems like kind of a silly thing, but say Ganny is chasing me, he's trying to kill me, and I'm running, and he's taking off armor pieces, and I need to put one on, say my helmet. I just swapped the helmet, and it wasn't that much time while I was in my inventory. Let me show you how to do this. So if you hit escape, go to options, advanced. Up here you got the advanced menu. You want to disable menu transitions. And you also want to have no tooltip delay. That is when you're in your inventory and you want to see quickly what your durability is, or your armor on a piece of equipment, or damage, but your damage is above it. Durability is the primary thing you want to see here, even though you have a bar at the bottom to show you. This helps you understand, you know, where you're at and what you should be switching your armor to. Another couple quick ones I would say change right away is I would disable or turn off light bloom, turn off light shafts, and mainly the other thing I would say is turn off give default survivor items. You ever kill a bunch of noobs and get all their skins? Yeah, don't be that guy. Go ahead and turn those off so you don't have to drop them every time you respawn. Other than that, most of your settings you should already have set. You can get a quick look at how my computer is set up for the settings in this game. And here's my advanced. Yeah, one more thing I'd say about settings in game is if it's starting to get dark, kind of like it is now. I mean, it's not super dark. This is actually a well-lit area of the map. Definitely want your gamma to be at a good spot. If it's really dark, you can go up really high. If it's really light, you want to get it lower. Utilizing gamma commands, which are enabled on official now as well, is super key. Alright, there's your menu. Tips. Alright, next tip, we're going to talk about getting out of a bad spot. And the way you can do that is whips and grapples. So, I'm going to have Ganny just constantly trying to pick me throughout this segment. I'm going to be working to get away from him, to dodge him. If he picks me, to get out. There's, I guess, three main things you can do when people are trying to pick you. You can go ahead and grapple the ground before they pick you. Try to pick me, Ganny. And it might show your camera move a bit like they picked you up, but as soon as that grapple hook gets taut, it's going to pull you back into place. So at this point, he cannot pick me. But if he's barrel rolling me, messing me up bad, and taking my armor pieces off, remember, you want to go in and replace armor as it breaks. But say you're in a bad spot, maybe you just want him to pick you. Go ahead and pick me up, Ganny. Maybe not jump to your whip right away, but as soon as they pick you up, get your whip out, whip them off. That was kind of lucky there. It was an instant whip off. Sometimes it can take a few shots. I think it's a percentage-based type deal. But definitely utilizing your whip is good. I figured I like to actually let people pick me when I'm doing PvP if I want to take their bird out. So pick me again, Ganny. I'm going to start whipping. When I finally get him off his bird, what I'll do is make sure you don't take too much fall damage by pulling your parachute. And here it's kind of tricky because we're over water. But then you can just bolo their bird. Definitely want to keep them in mind, make sure they're not hitting you. Even though this bird's still floating, he can't get on it and it's not going to move for 30 seconds. So at that point, you're going to want to switch quickly to a weapon that can deal some damage, and you're going to want to just pound that bird. You want to know your weapons well enough to know that your compound bow is going to deal the most damage to a dino. Except for if you can get in close and it's a dino that takes a lot of damage from bullets, you could use a shotgun as well. But in my experience, I like to use compound bows straight to the face. And if the player's close by, then go ahead and pull out the shotgun. Shotgun the bird. If the player gets close, shotgun them as well. Yeah, the last thing you can do when people are trying to pick you, go ahead and pick me again, Ganny. is you can shoot their mount, which this is good for Quetzals, Wyverns, and I'd say even uh, the Griffins, because sometimes it can be really difficult to whip a Griffin rider because they just stand on the back. So rather than wasting your whip durability or anything like that, you just grapple the actual dino. You can see here it's not a perfect science, but now I'm attached, and even if he wants to grab me again or get me loose, I could sit here and flamethrow him if I wanted to. So, covering it again quickly, your options are grapple the ground, he can't pick you, grapple the dino once you've been picked, or try to grapple the person, which will actually snap them off their dino. That gets a little complicated though. Or whip them. I enjoy whipping people, it dismounts them, then you can take out their dino, and then it's a foot PvP battle at that point. Alright guys, my next tip I'd say is knowing your level of skill. Um, a lot of these tips might seem obvious, but for me, I know that I can normally take 1 to 2 people, no problem, unless they start pulling out whips. And honestly, it might be time to get out of there at that point. But if I see 3 guys on a Griffin and I'm on a Pteranodon, they're all on Griffins themselves, I don't think that's a fight I want to take, because we all know those are very overpowered. You need to be smart about your engagements. If you see someone at a drop and they're not looking at you, don't start shooting them, just bolo them. If you see them get off a Pteranodon at a drop and you don't want them to fly away, you know they have good gear, bolo their Pteranodon. Think about how you want to engage a fight before you do it, because that could mean you win the battle or they get away, because there's a lot of decisions to make when you're fighting people, especially when you have all these tools at your disposal, different weapons, bolas, close range, long range. Honestly, you want to engage as close as possible, in my opinion. If you start having to hit sniper shots, if your shot's not good, I mean, I'd say mine's decent, I wouldn't say it's great. I'd rather be playing up close with people. I feel like this is a pretty obvious one, but yeah, just know when to fight, know when to leave. If you're picking bad fights all the time, you're just going to continue to lose dinos, you're going to continue to lose gear, and you're probably going to get a little burnout on PvP. But if you continue to pick what you'd say maybe are advantageous situations for you, then hey, you'll keep getting gear, you'll keep winning fights, and you'll get experience. That's something that's critical in PvP. PvP can be fun, but it can also be really disheartening when you lose gear, so be careful to choose your engagements wisely. Alright guys, my next tip would be make sure you have a really good working knowledge of the game, because again, this might seem obvious, but if you're trying to shoot someone up close with Fabby sniper and you don't have a great shot, or they're moving very rapidly, that could be a death sentence, especially if they're good with a bola or a shotgun. So you might want to change to a shotgun, which is much better for... Trimates are dying. Much better for close range. Also, if you're in a dino battle, you want to know, it's not necessarily rock, paper, scissors in this game, but you want to know what dinos are good against other dinos and how to use that. A lot of these facts can be found at archipedia.com, and for breeding and taming dinos, you definitely want to take a look at Dodo decks. But moving on to the next tip, because that last one's kind of obvious, but I feel like if you have a good working knowledge of the game, you engage in a lot of PvP, and something you keep dying from is just getting hit, getting bowled, getting shot non-stop, maybe your movement isn't on point. Something I'm still trying to get good at is the whole weird snake stuff that you can do. This laying down and sprinting as you stand up. That's how you get this movement here. So if you lay down and then press shift and forward, you're going to be moving like this. Movement is important. If you're being a stationary target, I'm just sitting here trying to snipe at Ganny, and then he looks up and I'm not moving, he can most likely kill me before I kill him. So good movement is key. Me and Ganny are going to have a quick little bola off to see, you know, what good movement looks like. Maybe we get bowled, maybe it's a good shot, maybe it's just our movement. Let's see. Alright, Let's do this, Ganny. It's kind of being a little predictable there. Maybe throwing my bolas high. Bolas are a fun thing to play with, but they can be hard to hit because they actually have... he got me. So at this point, I'm kind of in trouble. But as I said, with knowing the game, you can try to get away with grapples, knowing that your grapples will move you around. Definitely want to shoot for higher things, because if you get away from them further, you're going to have a better chance of survival. One more thing on grapples while I'm here. If you pull all the way in and then hit spacebar at the top, it will actually launch into the air. I feel like a lot of official players who don't use grapples a lot don't know this fact, but it helps a lot. You can see how it boosts me up. If I were trying to get over a ledge that didn't have any higher grapple points, that's how I would do it. I'd get to the top of my grapple, then press spacebar, it jumps, actually throws me up higher. Yeah, that's the tip on movement. Just always be a hard target, and then you're relying on your shot. Alright guys, starting out here, Bolid. Last tip as far as equipment, I'd say, is always have a bola on you. If you do not have bolas on you, you're gonna have a bad time, in my opinion. If you have bolas on you, you create a lot of options for yourself. If you can bola a player or a dino, you're gonna slow something down for 30 seconds. You're gonna have it not moving. If you're whipping people and you can keep them, you can stun lock them, I'd say, especially if you're running around in a buddy system and you and your buddy might be missing your shots that day, not having a great day on, you know, hitting your targets. Both of you just start whipping your target, you're gonna stun lock them, and one of you can switch the bolas, and that person's gonna be screwed at that point. You're gonna be bola'd, they're gonna be sitting there with two people shooting at them. If you're fast, you can kill them before they even get their grapple hook out. Another thing I'd say is, Ganny, if you want to hit me with a bola, I feel like a lot of people don't realize this. If you are bola'd and you have a teammate close, they can whip you. And now I can move. A lot of people don't realize this. I actually think you can do this with enemies as well, because I've been bola'd before and they came up to me with a shotgun and just started whipping them non-stop. And then they pulled out their whip and tried to whip my whip, and it actually, you can see, you know, I still got that cooldown on the bola down there, but I was able to run away at that point. If you get whipped while bola'd, you can actually move. So, covering this tip again, always have bolas. If you get bola'd, jump around with your grapple, or try to get them to whip you. Alright guys, and my final tip, I'd say, always go over your PvP experiences. This might just be because I'm a little older and I think about things I've messed up on in my personal life or at work. You kind of want to, you know, look back on events and say, what could I have done better? What did I do right? And try to continue to make the good decisions or avoid the bad decisions. So with PvP, you're going to know if it goes bad. You're going to die, you're going to lose mounts, you're going to lose gear. So it's going to be pretty quick to understand what you did wrong. I know that I've had engagements where I've beat multiple people who were fighting me, and I still felt like I could have done things better. So think about it. When you could have hit a bola, when you should have been using a different weapon, a shotgun. Maybe you were sitting there shooting a bird with a crossbow and arrows, and you didn't think about the fact that you had an actual compound bow, and you know that you can kill dinos much faster with those. Or if you get bola'd and you got people right up on you trying to club you, and you remembered later that you had a flamethrower, and you go, man, I should have used that flamethrower. These are all good things. Like, if you're thinking back and you're looking at the mistakes you made, you might be less likely to make those mistakes in the future. So for this tip, definitely look back, review your failures and your successes, because the more practice you get in PvP, the more you'll most likely make the right decisions. And as you're starting out in PvP, you might make a lot of bad decisions, might not utilize the best tools in the best situations, but with that said, if you're reviewing your engagements, you will get better faster. And for that, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you watching. You might have seen some crazy stuff in the chat during this video. We got raided last night while we were offline. It was fine. This server's resetting tomorrow. We've been here for 2 weeks and no one's been able to get a proper raid off on us. The guys offline raid us, so no biggie. But it's a fun server, 50x. It's actually restarting tomorrow, which is Friday, December the 1st. So if you want to join us, as far as on the server, you probably can't get into the track because we don't just trust everybody, but the server is XO Dice, and it's a fun time. Normally fills up around the beginning of the wipe cycle, and normally the wipe cycle is about 2 weeks. So if you feel like joining us, come on out, test your PvP skills. Take it easy. Alright guys, so we have a boosted red drop coming down. For me, when I see something like this, I don't get close to it. I get in the shadows, I stay far away, I look and see if I'm gonna have a lucky taker. Looks like we got somebody coming in. I'm gonna want to move in, try not to let them hear my bird or me. I'm gonna want to move quick. He's gonna be busy with a drop, gonna bola his bird, try to bola him. If I get him right away, bang bang bow. Shotgun doing work. Staying all over him with my reticle. If I need to, I can blow him up with a rocket launcher. I can hit him with my flamethrower. Lots of options. If I just want to go ahead and take out his bird, I could do that. But yeah. This is a spot where you're going to get a lot of PvP at drops. It's a good time. One more thing. Speaking of PvP at drops, I definitely got in a fight at a drop, and a guy kept trying to flamethrow me non-stop. And I was wondering why I wasn't catching on fire. The funny thing was, it was raining outside, and when it's raining, you cannot be caught on fire by a flamethrower. And if you're close to water, you get caught on fire, you can jump in the water, and you instantly stop taking damage. So those are some quick tips for you. Don't try to be that noob flamethrowing people in the rain, and if you do get hit with it, jump in some water.